Welcome to The View, exploring truth in Jamaican politics. Join us as we dive deep into the heart of Jamaica's political landscape, unpacking the facts, challenging the narratives, and uncovering the truth behind the headlines. With expert analysis, bold discussions, and unfiltered perspectives, we bring you the conversations that matter. No spin, no bias, just real talk on the issues shaping our nation's future. Stay informed, stay engaged. This is The View, exploring truth.
Yes. Good evening, viewers and subscribers. Sorry for that little um, technical difficulties right there at the top. Um, but welcome to this another episode of the View here on my YouTube channel. As usual, my name is Anthony Fisher, and I am your host. Just hold a second here. Let me just correct one little thing. I'm having a little technicality right here. Let me just correct that quickly. Hold on. All right. So, all right, you should be hearing and seeing me much better right now. All right. So today, I will be looking at two things. One, the recent ruling of the Constitutional Court last Friday, which many of the news outlets are categorizing as a landmark decision coming down from the court. Um, I have my view on that, but I would really want to hear your views about this because um, this was, in my opinion, a significant ruling. And as you know, the politics is playing its part in this. The People's National Party has jumped on, and they have made some comments about the ruling, and that I'll be talking about that also this evening. But secondly, I want to look at something that we spoke about here last Tuesday, and that was a comment that was made by the leader of opposition business in the Senate, Senator Peter Bunting, where he had made a comment about the about a contract at a school in Manchester, the constituency in which he is looking to represent. But after he had made the comment, no later, no other person than the contractor himself came out and was disputing, or no, not was, but actually dispute Mr. Bunting's comment, saying that the ministry owed him no funds whatsoever. So, like many of you, I was paying close attention to the Senate this weekend because I was hoping that Mr. Bunting would come back and correct correct that wrong and actually apologize. Um, However, and viewers and subscribers, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I did not hear any apology coming from Mr. Bunting. Um, I have not even heard him speak about this situation again anywhere in the media. And I have a problem with that. And I'll tell you why. Because Mr. Bunting is no little Joe Blow. Whether we want to believe this or that or not, but a lot of people is of the view that he is the person actually running the PNP. Mark Golding is just a figurehead at the front, but the party is really being led by Peter Bunting. And if he, as the leader of opposition business in the Senate, can make statement to the people of Jamaica that has been disputed, and he cannot come back and said, hey, I was wrong or I was misled, then I have a problem with that. You understand what I'm saying? Because these are persons who are waiting to become the government. So we must be able to trust what they are saying. And if they are getting information, it is their responsibility to vet these information and to ensure that they are on sound footing before they come and make these statements to the people of Jamaica. So I have my personal views about Mr. Bunting. I said this before, and some people might look at this as politics, some may not. But the truth is, in my opinion, Mr. Bunting is somebody who I listen with keen ears, but I put scrutiny on everything that he says. He does not come across to me as somebody who is sincere, as somebody who is honest, and somebody who I can trust. I see him as somebody who is desperate for political powers, and somebody who is willing to burn down the house clean and then rule over the ashes. That's my view of Peter Bunting. So am I surprised that he has not come back and correct the wrong or even apologize for the statement that was made in the Senate? I am really not surprised and stuff. All right, before I go any further, viewers and subscribers, please hit that notification bell. Please share and like the channel, because I want this view to be heard among our people, that they can see and hear what is happening in our country and stuff. I also invite you to comment. The channel is The View Jamaica, and if you go there, that will take you to the channel, and talk to me in the comment so we can have a running conversation while I comment. The next topic that I want to deal with today, and this one is definitely going to basically take up the rest of the show and stuff, because this week the Constitutional Court of Jamaica made a ruling the use of states of public emergencies. And this was, I think it was Dr. Dayton Campbell who had taken the government to court over the use of states of emergency to reduce crime. Um, as you know, Jamaica has a very high crime rate. Um, for many years, we are doing over 1,000 murder every year. And for a country of just over 3 million people, that in itself should be seen as an emergency. Therefore, while I accept and respect the rulings of our courts, I have some questions because we're what does it take? What does it take, or what is considered an emergency in a country the size of Jamaica? And that is a question that I have been asking myself over the last couple of days since this ruling has came down. And there's a saying that you should not mix the church and the state, but there's a scripture in the Bible. It's 2 Corinthians 3 verse 6, and it says, "Who has had made us able to minister to the New Testament, not of letter, but of spirit? For the letter killeth, but the spirit giveth life." Therefore, viewers and subscribers, I want to simplify that in the sense that sometimes in order to save lives, the letter, which is the law, maybe have to be suspended, maybe have to be set aside, because life is important, and that is where Jesus came in. Jesus came and he gave life, right? So the spirit gives life. The SOEs save lives, many, and even one, if one life was saved during those states of emergency, is one life that matters. So based on that, I was really thinking about this ruling. I was thinking about this ruling on Friday, and I was trying to see what are some reasons why in a country with just over 3 million people and is averaging over 1,000 murders each year, isn't that an emergency? And the answer to my question is yes, that is an emergency. And I'm going to give you some reasons why I consider it to be an emergency. Reason number one, the high murder rate relative to the population size. A murder rate over 1,000 per year in any country, but say a country like Jamaica with 3 million people, represent a rate of approximately 36.7%, 36.7 per 100,000 inhabitants, which, viewers and subscriber, is alarmingly high. For context, this is more than 7 times the global average of 5.3 per 100,000 as of 2021. All right. So when you look at a small country of Jamaica doing 36.7% per 100 inhabitants, we're killing off our people, we're killing off our nation. Isn't that qualify as an emergency? That's an emergency. There's no two-way about that. So that is reason number one why I disagree respectfully with the ruling of the court. Secondly, is with any such high murder rate, what that indicates, it indicates a breakdown of law and orders. Such high level of violent crime indicates significant issues with the law enforcement effectiveness, the judicial process, the crime prevention strategies, and this can lead to widespread fear, insecurity, loss of public trust in the justice system. Let's just talk about that for a while here. When you have this high level of crime, it's a must that you will have to look at how effective is your law enforcement. Is law and order being effective? Is the process, the judicial process, effective? We have had situations where persons commit murders and was given very short sentences and come back out and repeat the crime. You have situations where persons are staying inside of the prisons and they are still controlling the crime. They're ordering people to be killed and stuff. Aren't these things that be taken into consideration? Isn't all of those issues add up to an emergency, or is a case where life doesn't matter? One of the reason in the ruling, which I find offensive, was that because the country has been experiencing a murder rate of over 1,000 per year, it has become normalized. So therefore, once it is normalized, then it is no longer can be categorized as an emergency. What foolishness is that? What foolishness is that? Governments are elected to rule, to implement, to set, and to enforce policies. That is the work of government. So if the government see that the use of state of emergencies is an effective tool to use to shut down a particular section of the country for a period of time, to bring to bring order to that section of the country in order to reduce the levels of crime, how can that be classified as a breach. All right. Number three, reason number three is that high levels of crime equals to economic instability. High crime rates deters foreign investment, it disrupts local business, and it increased security costs. Community became more or less productive, and growth is stifled due to the loss of workforce, destruction of property, and capital flights. Again, let's talk about that, because I've always said this, that Jamaica is one of the most beautiful country in the world, right? But when we having advisory coming out of the US State Department, or coming out of Canada or out of England, advising their citizens not to travel to Jamaica because of high murder, high crime rates and stuff, what impact is that having on the economy of Jamaica? It is having a negative impact, right? And if it is having a negative impact, it is going to affect people from getting jobs. It is going to affect persons who are looking to invest. Nobody wants to invest in a country where that has a high crime rate. I heard Mr. Bunting and his friends in the Senate on Friday hailing this ruling. And at the time when they were debating a bill where to create some tax incentive for large scale investment, and Mr. Bunting was taking it from the angle that investors want to invest in a country that respect the Constitution. Investors want to invest in a country that has a low crime rate. That would be their number one issue, to be going into a country where the crime rate is high. Viewers and subscribers, one of the things that I always said, just imagine if, say for instance, a supermarket doesn't need to hire security guards. The security guard industry in Jamaica maybe is one of the fastest growing industry because of what? Crime. All right. Therefore, if we could have used less security guards, whether it's in the hospital, whether it's in the grocery store, anything, even the farmer, the man who go in the sun and work hard and plant a couple banana or whatever and all of those stuff, then you have somebody else who want to reap. The person who is maybe rearing a few pigs or something else, somebody else go and take it. And if he's there, that person might end up being dead. So therefore, viewers and subscribers, this argument of investors want to come into a country that respects the Constitution, while there might be some logics there, I think the greater good and the greater logic is to be able to go into a country, to invest into a country that has a very low crime rate. I think that would make more economic sense to anybody, because if you can set up your business in somewhere where you not have to worry about crime and stuff, I'm sure that would be better for the business. That would be better for your workforce also, because persons can leave and go to work. You can have late night shifts, that when the people are leaving work, they don't have to worry about their safety to get home. So that would breed more into the economy of the country. The other part of it is that a high crime rate creates what I call a public health crisis. All right, violence is a public health issue that strains the hospitals, it strains the mental health services and the community support systems. resources are diverted from other critical health needs to leading to a weaker healthcare service for the general populations. And this is a reality. All right. When a nurse or a doctor have to stop and to be rushing to a shooting to try to save somebody's life, whether it's gang or somebody was being robbed or whatever and get shot and they're being rushed to the hospital, or even to leave regular healthcare to go and pronounce somebody dead. All right, that is taking away from the regular service that doctor and nurse could be providing. Not to mention the cost of the medication or the theater time and all of those stuff that have been taken up because of the crime that is committed. So therefore, if you have a lower crime rate, it is also going to have a lesser effect on the public health system. All right, and that's another area which the country, which the government could save money and to help to take care of people who have diabetes or those other health issues, right? So again, that's another reason why I cannot understand why with the murder rate, the crime rate, that we are celebrating this ruling and agreeing that this is a breach of the Constitution. I think that the Constitution should be amended to support situations like these, right? Because we have a country that is in a crisis, and this is the first time we have had a government who had decided, one, to invest heavily in our security forces, and also at a time when the security forces who are, and viewers and subscribers, don't forget this, because the security forces are the ones who recommended to the government or to the Governor General that, listen, we need this measure to be implemented to help us to bring this community to some level of normality. And we have seen where the strategy has worked. All right, now here in 2025, so far this year, the crime rate, the murder rate is down by over 40% year on year. We have not seen that in many years, right? So another reason why I disagree with the ruling. All right, one of the effects of a high crime rate or a high murder rate, you will get a mass migration and brain drain, and we are seeing that right now. All right, many of our bright people are migrating to other countries, and one of the reasons for this migration is that if we had a lower crime rate, we would have more money to pay our teachers and nurses. All right, just this week, a nurse was violently attacked by somebody in a, well, it's reported as a road rage, but those videos, that video that I saw was very disturbing. You can imagine a man have his foot in the head of a woman lying on the ground. People, come on, man, come on. What kind of country we want? Judges in the constitutional courts. What kind of country do we want? That's the question that I'm asking. All right. I am one Jamaican who is willing to give up my constitutional rights in order for law and order. All right. When you have persistent violence that drive people to flee the country in search of safety, resulting in brain drain and loss of skilled workers. This weakened the country's workforce and slow down development. That is the result. Isn't that a state of emergency? Viewers and subscribers, help me here. Is that a state of a public emergency? When because of high crime, people decided that, listen, we can't stay here, so you know. We can't stay here. We have to move. All right? So another reason is that the high murder rate, and this is where human rights is concerned now, the high murder rates often correlate with increased cases of human rights violation. That it's going to happen. And this include police brutality, unlawful detention, lack of protection for vulnerable communities. Because if you have a high crime rate, a high murder rate, then the police who are out there, if confronted, they are going to respond. And sometimes they might not respond in a professional manner. And I'm not saying that the police is right for that. No, they're not. But with a small country like Jamaica having this high level of crime, where our police is being overworked and stuff, therefore sometimes you're going to find police brutality. All right? And therefore you're going to have the human rights people coming at the police officers and trying to hold them responsibility at all time, which is not wrong. But all of this is a result of the emergency that the country finds itself in. So therefore, if the government of the day, and I'm saying this across the board, whether it's JLP or PNP, whichever government is ruling, if on the recommendation of the security forces, they have chose to suspend the rights and the movement of individuals in a particular area or a particular parish for a period of time in order for that area to be normalized so it can be manageable by the security forces, I think that that action should be supported. It should not be something that is being politicized. It should not be something that people try to score political points over. Right? Another thing is that another thing in a country where crime is high, you're going to find an increase in gangs and organized gangs activity. Homicides are frequently linked to gang violence and organized crime. That's a fact. Which thrives into region with poor law enforcement. All right. This makes it difficult for the authority to regain control of violence areas. And I'm saying, if we leave these things unchecked, then the gang will be taking over communities. They will be running the country. All right. And then you same politicians who are hailing this ruling will be the same one to say that the government is not doing anything because they're not supporting the security forces. Therefore, the gangs are now taking over. People become more fearful. So, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and subscribers, the point I'm trying to make here is that with the level of crime in Jamaica, the use of states of emergency is an effective tool. And if it's an effective tool, then it should be used and be supported. Right? Another point I want to make here is that the high crime rate is a weakening of the government institution. The inability to control crime reflects a weakening of governmental institutions, corruption, and possible inflation of criminal organization into the political structure. Right? And let's face it, because a lot of these criminals right now are celebrating. You know why they're celebrating? Because they are saying that, oh, because of this ruling from the court, them can't lock we down again. Right? So as if the court, supported by some of you politicians, has given these criminals legs. Is that what you want? Is that the country that you are trying to get in a place to govern? Is that what you really want? Another thing is the negative international perception, and we're seeing it right now. The U.S. Secretary of State recently visited Jamaica, and the Prime Minister and his team made some representation, and he promised that when he had gone back to the state, he would have looked at the travel advisories that was issued, and to see if it can be lowered to represent what is taking place in the lowering of the crime rate presently. The latest advisory came out and nothing has changed. Right? So the US is still advising their citizens to, one, either not to travel to Jamaica or to be extremely careful whenever they do so. All right. Is that the reflection that we all want in the international community? Is that what we want? I'm sure not. Because that is having effect on our country. Because our country is heavily tourism dependent. Tourism is our biggest economic tool. All right. So if we have tourists stop coming to Jamaica, or when they come, they lock up in all-inclusive hotel and whatever. And you all know that most of these all-inclusive hotel, the foreign exchange goes back to the country that built them. All right. What would be better if, when a tourist come to Jamaica, they are not afraid to go out in the community and explore Jamaica? Wouldn't that be better for all of us? All right. The man on the roadside with him like a jerk chicken or him soup pot or whatever would be benefiting from these tourists coming to Jamaica, instead of have to be staying in these hotels, go on guided tours and stuff like that. Therefore, viewers and subscribers, we are in a state of emergency. That is it. When you look at the murder rate, it is equal to some of these countries who are at war. The other thing is the cycle of violence and fear. In community plagues by violence, fears become a part of daily life. This normalizes violence behavior, making it harder for a community to break free from the cycle of crime and insecurity. Right? So a state of emergency become a necessary step to mobilize resources, strengthen law enforcement, and restore public orders, aiming to break the cycle of violence and restore stability. That's what we want. Would you like me to say anything more? What we need is stability. If we can lower this crime in Jamaica, just imagine a Jamaica with a crime rate under 100, and that is still high. But just imagine Jamaica having a crime rate under 100. You know how much resources, how much dollars could be diverted otherwise? The security forces could get more pay. The nurses and doctors would be able to get more pay. The civil servants would be able to get more pay because we would have more investment. We would have more tourists coming to Jamaica. All right. Having more tourists coming to Jamaica, tourists feel free to walk in our beautiful countries, not to come and lock up in an all-inclusive hotel, my friends. That's not what we want. So I respectfully disagree with this ruling, and I am happy that the government has indicated that they will be appealing this ruling. And I look forward to this going to the Court of Appeal and to hear what those learned judges in the Court of Appeal will come back with. Because whether we want to accept this or not, this is a time to take back our country. This is a time to take back Jamaica. All right? Both from politicians who are willing to burn down the house to rule over the ashes, and from all those people who does not respect law and order. All right? So some of the arguments is say that against the SOEs was that young men were being net fished and stuff. But I am saying, if you are not a part of any gang or associating in anything that is negative and stuff, even if you are taken in for processing, you will be released and to go back to your regular and daily activities. All right. So viewers and subscribers, I'm looking forward to hear your views on this, and hopefully we can agree that we all want a better Jamaica, a Jamaica where truth is number one, a Jamaica that is free of crime and violence, a Jamaica that we can be more proud of, because we're already proud of our country now. All right. But I mean, let's look at the things that is going to make our country better. All right. Until next time, I am Anthony Fisher. Peace out. All right. See you. Let me hear your views. All right. And as I said, let's join the conversation. Like, subscribe, and share. This is The View. Exploring truth in Jamaica politics. See you next Sunday. Well, not next Sunday. As a matter of fact, I should be here on Tuesday with my friend Hilton Dennis again, exploring another topic. Hopefully we will have somebody to dig a little deeper and you're not seeing only my face alone talking to you. But yes, so let's see where we go from there. All the best.